The Crusade of 1197, also known as the Crusade of Henry VI or the German Crusade, was a crusade launched by the Hohenstaufen Emperor Henry VI in response to the aborted attempt of his father, Emperor Frederick Barbarossa, during the Third Crusade in 1189–90. Thus the military campaign is also known as the Emperor's Crusade, while his forces were already on their way to the Holy Land. Henry VI died before his departure in Messina on 28 September 1197. The emerging throne conflict between his brother Philip of Swabia and the wealth rival Otto of Brunswick made many higher-ranking crusaders return to Germany in order to protect their interests in the next imperial election. The nobles remaining on the campaign captured the Levant coast between Tyre and Tripoli before returning to Germany. The crusade ended abruptly after the fall of Sidon and Beirut in 1198. Background: on 2 October 1187, the Ayyubid Sultan Saladin could capture Jerusalem and large parts of the Crusader states. In an effort to reclaim the Outremer estates, the Third Crusade was launched by King Philip Augustus of France, the English King Richard Coeur de Lion of England, and Emperor Frederick Barbarossa in 1189. Frederick departed with a huge army, defeated a Seljuk contingent near Philomelion and captured Iconium, but then drowned in the Goksu River near Salifki in Cilicia. The German Crusade, totaling perhaps 100,000 to 150,000 men, mostly disbanded, and a much smaller contingent led by Frederick's son Duke Frederick V of Swabia continued to the Holy Land, where they joined the Siege of Acre. The crusade ended in the 1192 Treaty of Ramla signed by Sultan Saladin and King Richard Coeur de Lion, establishing a 3-year armistice and allowing the Muslims to retain control over Jerusalem, while the Crusaders maintained Acre, Jaffa, and other key coastal cities. Henry VI, elected King of the Romans since 1169, succeeded his father Frederick and was crowned Holy Roman Emperor by Pope Celestine III in 1191. In his struggle with the princes to enforce his succession, the tide turned in his favor when the returning Crusader King Richard was captured in Austria and only released against an oath of allegiance and an enormous ransom. In 1194, Henry could assert the inheritance claims of his wife Constance by conquering the Kingdom of Sicily. By declaring a new crusade to reconquer Jerusalem, Henry aimed at an agreement with Pope Celestine III to acknowledge his rule over Sicily. In 1195, the armistice concluded by King Richard ended. Sultan Saladin had already died in 1193, and a conflict over his succession raged in the Ayyubid lands. In view of these favorable developments, the emperor hoped to continue the momentum of the previous campaign. Henry VI decided to take advantage of his father's threat of force against the Byzantine Empire, affected by the rebellions in Serbia and Bulgaria as well as by Seljuk incursions. Emperor Isaac II Angelos had maintained close ties with the Sicilian usurper King Tancred of Lecce. He was overthrown in April 1195 by his brother Alexios III Angelos. Henry took the occasion to exact tribute and had a threatening letter sent to the Byzantine emperor in order to finance the planned crusade. Alexius immediately submitted to the tributary demands and exacted high taxes from his subjects to pay the crusaders £5,000 of gold. Henry also forged alliances with King Amalric of Cyprus and Prince Leo of Cilicia. Call for crusade. During the Holy Week of 1195, Emperor Henry made a pledge and at the Easter celebrations in Bari publicly announced the crusade. In summer he was traveling through Germany in order to gain supporters. Despite the stalemate of the Third Crusade, a large number of the nobles responded, among them Archbishop Conrad of Mainz, the Arch-Chancellor of Germany, and Archbishop Hartwig of Bremen. 9 bishops, including Wulfgar of Passau, Conrad of Hildesheim, 5 dukes, Henry of Brabant, Berthold of Marania, Frederick of Austria, his uncle Henry of Modling, and the emperor's cousin Hermann I, Landgrave of Thuringia. Various counts, including Henry V of the Rhine, Meinhard II of Gorizia, Eberhard of Dornburg. A large number of minor nobles also joined the crusade, and before long, according to Arnold von Lewebeck in his Arnoldi Chronica Slavorum, a powerful military host of 60,000, including 7,000 German knights, was on its way. Bretislaus III, Duke of Bohemia, had agreed to join the crusade at the Diet in Worms on December 1195, and planned to do so until he fell ill and died on 15 or 19 June 1197. In March 1197, Henry proceeded to the Kingdom of Sicily. The Crusaders embarked for Acre, while the Emperor first had to suppress an armed revolt in Catania. Large Saxon and Rhenish contingents under Count Palatine Henry V and Archbishop Hartwig of Bremen arrived in Messina in August. They merged with the Emperor's troops and sailed to the eastern Mediterranean. Still in Sicily, out for hunting near Fiumedinese in August, Emperor Henry fell ill with chills, possibly from malaria. He died on September 28 before he could set sail for the Holy Land campaign. On the 22nd of September 1197, a substantial German army under the command of Arch-Chancellor Conrad of Mainz and Marshal Henry of Calden landed at Acre, where their presence aroused the displeasure of the French forces of Queen Isabella of Jerusalem. As the German princes denied the authority of Henry of Calden, they elected Duke Henry of Brabant their commander, and the Crusaders proceeded to Tyre, initiating a campaign to expel the Muslims from Beirut and to subject the Levant coast up to Tripoli. They captured the wealthy and important city of Sidon and on October 24 entered Beirut. With the support of the princes, Emperor Henry's vassal King Amalric of Cyprus married Queen Isabella and was crowned King of Jerusalem in 1198. The Crusaders continued their campaign and by reconquering the estates around Byblos Castle restored the land linked to the county of Tripoli. They even marched against Damascus and laid siege to Tehran, when news of the emperor's death reached them. By July 1198 most of the nobles had returned home to get their fiefs confirmed by Henry's successor. The remaining Crusaders concluded another armistice with the Ayyubid Emir al-Adlai, who acknowledged the rule of King Amalric II over the reconquered lands. In his capacity as King of Jerusalem, Amalric enforced the lordship of Beirut to John of Ibelin and the lordship of Sidon to Reginald Grenier. On his way back to Germany, Archbishop Conrad of Mainz in January 1198 crowned Prince Leo of Sicily a king of Armenia in Tarsus. Aftermath. Overshadowed by Henry's death, the crusade did not realize his high-flying ambitions. Nevertheless, the weakening of the Byzantine Empire persisted and established a basis for the Fourth Crusade and the sack of Constantinople in 1204. At the same time, the originally intended reconquest of Jerusalem was abandoned, when the armistice with the Ayyubid dynasty was renewed for another 6 years. The German princes later on concentrated on their land acquisitions in the territories of the Palabian Slavs initiated by the Wendish Crusade of 1147. The Teutonic Order, established during the Siege of Acre in 1190 and elevated to a chivalric order during the German Crusade in March 1198, played an important role in the German eastward expansion to Prussia and the adjacent Baltic region in the 13th century.